fire signs. This is for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We are going to pull a spread for all fire signs and clarify that spread for each individual fire sign. Leave me a comment if you like this little setup here, and let's jump right in. First card jumping out, 3 of Swords. Okay, so definitely my fire signs have been going through it here with the 3 of Swords. I do feel like this is coming up in your strength position though, so this is you all making the choice to heal. All right, what you're moving through right now is that you want to make a situation right with the King of Swords. I definitely see you showing up in your integrity. You have been changed. There was a heartbreak. There was some painful truths that came to light here in the past. And, you know, I feel like you didn't run from these truths. You sat with these truths, and now you're transformed and you're ready to make the right choice. And this is going to bring some sort of happiness and fulfillment into your life. For some of you, a side message that will not resonate for everyone, but for some of you, you could be making a decision here that you are going to no longer be indulging in a certain activity or behavior that you found, you know, was just masking a problem, just putting a band-aid on a deeper issue. So if that's you, congratulations. That is a really brave decision to make, and one that should be celebrated. All right, let's keep pulling here for my fire signs. We have strength. Yeah, y'all are very strong. And I feel that my fire signs who are tuning into this, you have been through a lot here with strength, and you have a gentleness about you that really people notice this, okay? And you have your family around you here with the 10 of Pentacles coming out. I definitely feel like there could be someone in your family who is needing something that you have to offer in this moment. All right, this could also be someone in your community, in your chosen family, if that resonates more for you. But I feel like, you know, this is kind of you getting your flowers here. This is kind of, you know, oh, there is a conflict going on, and your advice here is, you know, to show up with whatever this is, okay? So I do want to, I'm going to clarify this for all of the signs, but I kind of want to pull just one more card for all the fire signs on this 5 of Wands. It does seem like there is some sort of conflict going on in your life here, fire signs, and your input is needed. All right, there's a way that you've been wounded by a situation that other people could relate to. All right, and it does help bring healing. You are the healed healer, and I feel that you really do not see this, right? My fire signs watching this, you may not necessarily feel that you are this person or that people see you as this person, but you are incredibly mature. What you give, it does not go unnoticed. You might feel sometimes that it does, and even you yourself may not notice at times. But I definitely am sensing that there's an impact that you have that you are unaware of. You're unaware of the power that you bring into the room when you walk in. And, you know, your input on a situation here is incredibly valuable, because there's someone or multiple people here in your life that are going through something that you've already been through. All right, so let's go ahead now and clarify this reading for each fire sign. We're going to start with Aries, then we'll do Leo, and end with Sagittarius. You'll be able to find timestamps in the comments, okay? So for Aries, we have the Queen of Summer, loving, comforting, emotional, intuitive. Listen to your heart, intuitive insights you can trust, taking care of others, perhaps too much. Okay, so Aries, very important for me to acknowledge that you do have a strong intuition. Equally important, what we need to acknowledge is that your intuition cannot exist at the same time as your anxieties, okay? So with this Queen of Summer coming out with the Three of Swords, I feel like you definitely do need to acknowledge, where you are still hurting and hold space for yourself, right? Do the things that will bring you comfort, and only you know what that is, and it might take you a little time of exploring, right? And we have the Eight of Summer coming out, the desire for a more meaningful life, realizing that it's time to move on, choosing to make major life changes, right? And we have that with the King of Swords. And this, again, was the choice for you to make something right, to do the right thing, to do the thing that you need to do. You're showing up here transformed. But, after going through this transformation, you could be feeling a little bit lost, right? You want a more meaningful life. You know what wasn't working, but what is going to work? These are the questions that you have. And now is the time for you to explore. The answers are out there, but you are going to have to explore a little. And this is something that can be fun. Try not to put a lot of pressure on yourself right now, Aries. We do have Justice, card 8, clarifying the Nine of Cups here. Take the time to review the details carefully. You will win in the end. Fair and objective decisions. So things are changing and shifting in your favor here, Aries. You might have felt like you have gotten the short end of the stick in the past, and you very well may have. But this is Justice and the Nine of Cups coming in, and this is saying that a change that is happening right now in this current energy is that you are now being comforted. There is fulfillment and balance coming into your life. So definitely do take time to review the details carefully, like it says on this card, but feel good about what you're doing, right? You might feel like there's a lot of work that you have to do right now. You could be feeling tired, but try to get excited about the future, because the future is looking bright for you, and you want to make sure that you're coming to the table in the best possible energy. All right, we have the Seven of Autumn coming out. Have patience and don't worry. Take time to rest and plan your next steps. A prudent investment of time or money. So right now, Aries, I definitely feel like, some of you could be feeling like things are not very fun right now. You're like, come on, it's the end of summer. Like, I just want to be having a good time. And, for whatever reason, the timing for you right now is being patient, waiting, and planning this next step in your life. All right. However, the positive thing here is that you do have support. Now, as I say that, I pull out the Five of Winter. Walk away from dishonest associations, realizing that what you thought you wanted isn't the best choice for your happiness, something that's not worth the effort. All right, this is coming out in your external energy with the Ten of Pentacles. And this, Aries, is about you choosing your battles, especially when it comes to your family, your chosen family here, your community. This is about you choosing your battles wisely, but also understanding where some connections in your life just are not worth the effort anymore, right? So you really need to look at who is exhausting you and how important that person is to you, right? Because certain people, we're going to put up with a little more from them because our connection is a little stronger, all right? Because it's important for us, right? And that's the question you need to ask yourself. I can't tell you having a relationship with your mom is important, right? I can say that to me, having a relationship with my mom is important. And so even if I need boundaries, or if I don't feel like my boundaries are being necessarily respected, just as an example, I'm still going to choose to continue in that relationship because that relationship is important for me, right? So I'm going to do my best to have proper boundaries and proper expectations, but it's important for me to maintain it. Other situations, if someone's just a friend or a coworker, I might choose that it's really not even worth the effort at all. But this is about you, Aries, really, instead of feeling defeated or overwhelmed by other people and feeling overburdened by them, this is you feeling empowered in your decision to make good choices about how much energy you're going to give to certain people, what conversations you're going to have with certain people, what conversations you're going to reserve for, other people who are more trustworthy or more capable of having those conversations. All right, and then we have the Princess of Spring coming out, optimistic, enthusiastic, creative, and energetic. This is coming out for you with the Nine of Wands and the Five of Wands. So I definitely feel conflict, and like I was saying, I feel like for all my fire signs, there's this conflict going around, and you could have been someone who is already showing up to this conflict. You've already been through this. You already know how it hurts. So you've already been very strong and resilient, and I do feel like, you have an important role to play in showing up for other people here and showing them the way. And you don't do this necessarily by directly telling them. You do it more by just your presence. You really don't realize how your presence alone really lifts people up. And, look at this beautiful card. Look at your beautiful face. You really do light up rooms that you come into, and something about your energy is just so magnetic and just like, I feel youthful and innocent and pure. And this allows people to feel optimistic in your presence. And it can help to ease conflicts and heal situations without even addressing the situation head on. So very interesting here for you, Aries. And we're going to pull one last card here and then pull you an oracle from the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins. All right, the last card we have, clarifying the King of Cups and the Ten of Cups, is the Nine of Spring. Protect the fruits of your labors. Prepare for possible challenges that lie ahead. Environmental conservation. All right, Aries. So, I do feel like this is really quite a beautiful energy. However, it's heavy on you. I feel like you carry within you a lot of concern, especially about your family, about the people that you love. You see the beauty all around you, but sometimes it could feel like, you struggle to really be a part of it. And that's what I'm kind of seeing with this card. Like, being a part of it almost hurts in a way. So it's like part of your gift is this beautiful, optimistic spirit that you have, but it's really hard to stay in that place, especially if you're doing it for somebody else. So the message here, Aries, is to make sure that everything you're doing it for you, right? Other people can benefit, but ultimately you have to be the one saying, like, all right, I'm deciding, like, this is what I want to do. I want to do this for this person because it makes me feel good. I don't know how they're going to react. I don't know if they're going to appreciate it, but this is what I feel comfortable doing because it makes me feel good. And I'm doing this because for me, right? Not for somebody else. So I hope that all makes sense. Over your reading, Aries, we have mother healing. So for some of you, you could be dealing with a mother figure here, or issues on the maternal side of your family. And as your feelings towards your mother heal, your desires manifest more rapidly. So you could feel, again, like you're in this heavy emotional time, and it isn't really where you'd prefer to be right now. But the more you focus on healing and acknowledging where you're at, right? It might not be where you want to be, but by avoiding, and trying to fight too hard against it, you're only going to prolong the situation and drag it out. But by really embracing where you're at right now, just letting yourself be in this moment, that's how you bring on the healing more rapidly and allow your situation to change more rapidly as well. All right, so that's what we have for you, Aries. Leave me a comment and let me know if it resonated for you. And let's get into our next message for Leo. All right, clarifying the Three of Swords for Leo. Clarifying the Three of Swords for Leo. We have the Seven of Spring. Be assertive. Don't back down from what you believe. Courageously stand up for yourself. So, Leo, right now, you've been going through it. You've been strong. You've been resilient. I feel like for some of you, you've been biting your tongue about a certain situation. And now it's time for you to really stand up for yourself. I mean, look at you here, fierce and fabulous, Leo. This is you, letting somebody know that you're hurt. This is you showing up and having a conversation, I feel. For some of you, though, you could be showing that you're hurt. You could be showing, not saying. Right? So that could manifest in a lot of different ways, but I just got that message for some of you. Next card we have coming out for Leo is the Six of Winter. Positive changes are on their way. A welcome relief from troubled times, traveling or relocating. All right, so something here is changing, and I do feel like this is in your mind. Leo, you are definitely being more discerning. You're approaching situations more logically at this time, and it is helping you to move in the direction that is going to be best for you in the long run. This is not easy because I definitely feel like there was a lot of emotions involved in a situation, and you've had to kind of take the emotions out of it. I'm seeing you kind of being like, well, it is what it is. I have to be the bigger person here. I do feel like you're a very understanding person here, Leo, and you might feel like you don't always get the credit for that, or you don't always come out on top, or you don't always get the understanding back that you give to other people. But I do feel like there is a change here happening, whether that's that you are going to be getting some sort of recognition or that you're just no longer going to feel the need for it. But ultimately, what is changing for you is you're going to be feeling a lot better. You're going to be feeling more optimistic. There's definitely a new chapter, a new door here opening. With the Princess of Spring, it's time to go after your dreams. Do something that expands your horizons. Let your creativity take flight. I definitely feel like there's something new here coming into your life, Leo, that is going to allow you to feel like, you know, you're a new person in a way. You know, it's like almost like giving like new lease on life energy. Like this is very fresh, very new. It's going to just bring a lot more joy in your day to day. It really is in the little things. So I don't think this is huge, but the little things are the big things when it's all said and done. Okay, so next we have the Moon coming out with the Strength card. So you've been very strong here, Leo, in the unknown, in deep, deep emotions, powerful, intuitive epiphanies, letting go of worry and fear, understanding the truth of a situation. You are incredibly intuitive here, Leo, and I definitely sense that, you know, you are able to see all sides of a situation. You're able to really understand people, and sometimes, you know, when you can truly understand people and feel like their motivations, you can end up getting real disgusted with the way certain people are showing up. And I do feel that, Leo. I feel like, you know, but you've made a decision not to shame anybody, right? I feel like you're in a place, Leo, where you're kind of like, I'm not here to shame anybody. All I ask is that you don't do it to me. Okay, and with the 10 of Pentacles, we're clarifying with the High Priestess. Trusting your intuition, careful reflection before taking action, insights that come through meditation. So I feel like, Leo, you have not been communicating with your family, your community, your chosen family here. You have not been letting people know all of your innermost thoughts and feelings about a situation. You have chosen to keep certain things to yourself. And I definitely sense that that is a wise decision, because there are people in your energy who are very hurt and wounded right now, and they could manipulate your words or use your words and your perspective in a way that you didn't necessarily want it to be used. But definitely I feel like you are engaging with certain people here. You're curious about some sort of drama, some sort of conflict that's going on. You know, I do feel like you care about the people's feelings. You care about what people have gone through, but at the same time, like, you know, you've already been in this wounded energy, and now you're kind of in this self-assured energy. You know, you're like, well, I've kind of already been there. So, you know, hey, I can feel for you where you're at, but I graduated already, right? Inquisitive, truthful, realistic, undiplomatic. And I do feel like, you know, you are very truthful here, Leo. You're showing up as someone who is the truth teller. But just because you know the truth doesn't mean other people can handle the truth. Always remember that. Information that can help you, but which also may be difficult to hear. Speaking the truth with kindness. An indigo, child, or adult. I do feel like you are using your words sparingly here, Leo, and that is wise. Less is more. Your input is needed in a situation, but just be very wise and make sure you're not giving anybody, you know, don't give too much. Like I said, less is more in this situation. But you do know the truth, and you have the truth to offer the people in your energy right now. Last two cards we have coming out, and then we'll pull an oracle for you. We have the Queen of Summer. Loving, comforting, emotional, intuitive. Listen to your heart. Intuitive insights you can trust. Taking care of others, perhaps too much. All right, some of you, this is in your romantic relationship. You could be carrying a little bit too much of the load right now. And you could be needing to take a step back into your own energy, redirecting your focus onto yourself and away from your significant other, your family, right? Because who's looking out for number one? Number one is you, Leo, and you need to be the person who is looking out for number one. All right, so that is very important. But I do see that you do have the support of a loving family here, or loving friends. This could be chosen family if you don't resonate with having a loving family. But I do see the energy of a loving family showing up in your reading here. And this could be something that comes as kind of a surprise. People could be surprising you this month, Leo, this week ahead, with just how loving they really can be. And I do expect that you'll be feeling, fulfilled. There could be some reciprocity, some long overdue reciprocity coming to you this week, Leo. So really beautiful reading. Let's get you one last card here from the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins Oracle. And we have faith. Your prayers are manifesting. Remain positive and follow your guidance. Most important message for you this week, Leo, is remain positive and follow your own inner guidance, because you have the High Priestess here, the Moon. You have a very strong intuition, right? This Princess of Winter. You know the truth. You feel the truth. And you're not afraid to speak the truth. Again, use your words sparingly and be discerning on who really deserves that truth that you have to offer. Because one thing that I've always heard, we want to keep these for Sag's reading. Oops. One thing I've always heard, Leo, is, when God, whether you believe in God or not, just as a concept, when God gives you, God, Spirit Divine, gives you certain information, He gives it to you, right? So when you try to give it to someone else, they are not always going to be able to comprehend or understand it. So be discerning with who you are speaking your words to and what words you're giving them. Less is more. That's what I have for you, Leo. I love you. Take care. All right, Sagittarius, let's get into it. Let's see, what does Sagittarius need to know? Clarifying this reading for Sagittarius. All right, if you're not subscribed, take a moment to do so. Give me a like and a comment. Greatly appreciate that. All right, clarifying the Three of Swords for Sagittarius. Clarifying the Three of Swords. We have Ten of Spring. Ask for help from others. All work and no play. Being weighed down by too many responsibilities. All right, so right now, Sag, I feel like you are becoming increasingly aware of the need for a change in your life. There could be even change happening to some of you, whether you want it or not, because it is necessary. Something here in your life has just become way too overwhelming. And so it is time for a transformation. It's time for, you to focus on putting your strength into something different. Okay, tell us more about the King of Swords for Sagittarius. We have the Five of Spring, opposing goals arising from differing opinions, feeling at odds with yourself or others, overly ambitious people. All right, so this is you addressing a conflict in your life, Sag, and you know, someone here is disagreeing with you. This is someone who opposes your viewpoint, and I feel like you are trying to show up here and be fair, right? Because you know that you're not perfect, but you know, you are wanting things to be fair and balanced. So I definitely feel like you want your perspective to be seen and acknowledged as well. So this could be a challenge this week. All right, we have the 9 of Cups. There could be 2 people here who really think highly of themselves and really are stuck in their own feelings, their own view of a situation. And it could even be more than 2 people involved here. All right, let's see. Clarifying the 9 of Wands, or the 9 of Cups. We have Princess of Autumn, studious, responsible, cheerful, mischievous. Happy news about your career, promotions, or scholarships. Well thought out plans that go perfectly. Needing a little push to get going. All right, so I definitely do sense that we may be needing a little bit of a push to get going here, because we're at the 9 of Cups, and where do we want to be? Well, why not be at the 10 of Cups, right? So you could be resting on your laurels a little bit here, Sag. You could be feeling like, well, I feel pretty good, but there's something here that could really take it over the top, that could really make things even better. And this is about you putting some effort into that, right? And it's not about you completely redirecting your focus into something new, but this is about you starting something, putting a small amount of effort or a small amount of investment into a new path, into something new, something that is emotionally fulfilling to you. All right, clarifying strength for Sagittarius. And I'll tell you what, Sag, I've been recording in here for about an hour now. And I just got really, during your reading, I just started getting extremely overheated. So for some of you, you could be really, you know, feeling like the temperature is rising on a situation. You could be feeling like for some of you, I'm just feeling like you could be feeling like you're in hot water, right? We got this like heat, really feeling the heat here, Sag. And so that could be pushing you to really do something here. And right now, clarifying the strength card with the Magician. This is your internal energy. You can do anything. Take charge of your life. You can manifest what you need to be a success. So whatever it is here that you see that you want, you can manifest this. So this is about you letting go of any small thoughts about yourself, letting go about what you think you know about a situation, and, you know, opening up your mind to the potential, and, you know, also looking at a situation with optimism, because whether you look at it through the lens of optimism or through a negative lens, you are manifesting no matter which way you go. So make sure you are speaking positivity over your life, over your family, over your connections here. We have the 5 of Summer coming out to clarify the 10 of Pentacles. All right, trust that there's a reason for everything that happens. Remove yourself from the negative emotions of others, focusing on that which frightens or worries you. So, you know, here for my Sagittarius, there could be a lot of sadness, grief within our family, and we could take on a lot of responsibility, you know, for showing up and being there for other people's emotions. And this can be really, really challenging, right? because we can kind of lose ourselves in other people and how they feel. And then it's kind of like, but how do you feel, right? And so that's what I really feel like this week you need to be asking yourself is like, how do I feel about this? And take time to let the answer come up, right? It might not come right away for some of you. For some of my Sagittarius, you've been running on empty for a while here, dealing with everybody else's emotions, everybody else's drama, everybody else's BS. And, you know, you could be putting your own life and situations on the back burner. And this is about you taking responsibility for that. It's no one's fault but your own, right? You are responsible for setting poor boundaries with the people in your life. And people should be more respectful of your boundaries, or, you know, be more respectful of you without you having to put up boundaries. Yes, that may be true. But ultimately, you are responsible for how other people treat you, because you have a choice on whether or not you're going to engage with those people, right? How many red flags are we going to ignore? How many times are we going to let people cross our boundaries? So this is about you really acknowledging this, because the King of Winter is coming out. And this is somebody who is knowledgeable, experienced, fair-minded, and unemotional. Right? Get advice from someone professional and objective. Public speaking, unemotional relationships. So very interesting. This is coming out in your advice, and I do feel like, you know, it's really interesting, because here we have this 5 of Summer, which is, you know, highly emotional, coming up in your external energy. This is the people around you, the 10 of Pentacles, your family, the people who you're seeing every day. This is you kind of getting lost in their feelings, and then, you know, showing up kind of detached from your own feelings. So this could be a need for you to acknowledge, right? Acknowledge everything that you've been through. Acknowledge what your needs are. Where are your wounds? Because if you're not acknowledging your wounds, how can you tend to those wounds and make sure that they heal properly? The answer is that you can't. So there could be people here around you that are triggering these wounds. It's important that you don't point the finger at those people and say, well, you're the bad guy, because it's way much more deeper than that. This is deeper. This is in your lineage, in your family, in your upbringing. You know, there was a pattern that was started, it feels, for some of my Sag, where, you know, you kind of lost yourself in other people's emotions. So you could have had, you know, highly emotional people around you a lot in your, like, formative years, to where you kind of never felt safe in feeling your own feelings. All right, let's get one more card for Sagittarius, and then we'll jump into an oracle message. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you liked this video, Sag, if you would like to see more videos like this. We have the 3 of Autumn. Follow your passion when it comes to your career. Be the best at what you do. Being compensated for your creative talents. This is beautiful. I love this coming out, the 3 of Autumn. This is a really wonderful card and energy to come out paired with this 10 of Cups and King of Cups. You know, I do feel like this is you getting more in touch with your emotions. You really don't see this coming, but this is you connecting with your emotions in a very healthy way. You could be going to therapy, you could be speaking with a therapist, you could be getting family counseling or couples counseling with somebody here, but this is about really talking about things in a healthy, grounded way, not overly emotional, right? This is where we're holding space for emotion, but we're not letting it overwhelm us. We're not losing ourselves in it. We're creating a new relationship with emotions. And that could be this new thing that you're starting here with the Nine of Cups. You're creating a new relationship with how you handle emotions so that you can, acknowledge them and feel them and be comfortable with them and not let them overwhelm you and not lose yourself in them. All right, so this is really beautiful. There is some really good, healing, wonderful conversation that I do feel like is happening this week, and it's something that you do not see coming right now. But it's really beautiful. Last card for Sagittarius over this reading, we have Divine Magic. Extra magical energy surrounds your situation right now. Expect miracles. All right, Sag, expect miracles this week, right? You may not even recognize your own life by the end of August. There are so many changes coming your way. Changes actually coming from within you, right? Coming from your strength, from your resilience, from your wonderful mind. And that's what I have for you, Sag. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Leave me a comment, whatever moment you are in. Know that it is a magical moment because you are there. Until we meet again, I love you. Take care.